Hey, this is Diana Keuilian, the recipe hacker, and we are here in the RHR kitchen today with my friend Jason Phillips, the nutrition coach. Jason, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we are just basically going to show you how to make some awesome meals that are highly nutritious. And Jason, you are much more versed in nutrition than I am.
I don't know about that.
I am just like, I'm into the ingredients and getting things that are healthy and just making it exciting and taste good. But
the fun part.
The fun part and getting people to, just get excited about eating the stuff that has the good nutrition.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that together we can build some really fun meals that are cooked en papillote, or...
That's like, I think it's one of 10 ways that we could say it, right? Like,
yeah.
What they don't know is off camera, we literally were looking that up for pronunciation.
Google, how do you say en papillote, which is, it means cooking in paper.
And that's the important part.
That's the important part. And the fact that we're cooking it in paper, we're actually going to be using the steam from the oven and from the ingredients to cook the food.
Love it.
Yeah, and what's really cool about is that it's going to keep it nice and moist.
That's the best. So one of the biggest complaints I get in the nutrition coaching world, and I think that a big common misconception is eating healthy has to be super boring. And obviously,
I hate that.
You've hacked that, right?
Yes, that's like I fight against that concept of eating healthy is boring. It's not.
It's not, and it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Exactly. And so one of the things that we work on is eating healthy is great. But eating healthy sometimes needs to be taken to another level in terms of overall quantity relative to the individual. And so I think that's the really cool thing is like I work with people a lot on the quantity side. They want to know how can I maximize that, and that's what we're here to do today.
Yes.
And that's what I'm really excited about because I'm dieting. I'm actively like anyone that's following me knows we're in like shredding season right now, and so we're actively trying
For me, shredding is like I'm grating cauliflower shredding.
And we're trying to get like that, like the abs that would allow you to grate that cauliflower
on the abs.
On the abs. So
that'll be Recipe Hacker 2.0.
That'll be Recipe Hacker like 2.0, like how to use your body as the tools and all that good stuff.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm super excited because when you and I started talking about doing this, literally, I think it was like the day after, my fiance and I like looked at each other and we're like, what's for dinner? And it was like the same recipes day in, day out. How do we make it healthy, but how do we keep it fun? What the kids like it,
and you're cooking for kids just like I am.
Yeah.
So you can't give them chicken breast and broccoli every night.
No.
Like we can choke that down because we're, if you're on a program, you're on a mission and that's, you do what you have to do, but you're feeding a family and really just to keep it part of your lifestyle, you have to have variety,
you have to.
Flavor and something fun. And actually this is a good opportunity for your people who don't know me. This is my latest cookbook, The Recipe Hacker Confidential, and this is what I do in here. It's, taking the ingredients that are healthy and making it fun and making it something that the family's going to enjoy.
I love it.
And so I'm actually going to be giving this book away to any of your followers.
Super nice of you. Super nice of you.
I'm sure you can fill them in on that.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, if you're not already on my email list, just go to jasonphillipsnutrition.com, get on the email list, and I'm going to send out the link to where you can get the book for free. And that's super nice of her. We talked off camera before this. She's agreed to do it for you guys. So we're going to send that out. And yeah, I mean, again, one of just my biggest thing is everyone's like, it has to be, it has to taste good. And for people to be compliant long term, like, we talked about like there's this whole like continuum and there's like, this is where you are today. This is ultimately where you should be. But there's this whole gray area. And a lot of that is food has to taste good. It still has to be enjoyable. You have to live like within, you can't just deviate from your current lifestyle a lot, right? And so for me, and a lot of people don't know my background, I started with an eating disorder. And so like, I'm like, as type A as they come.
What?
I was anorexic.
Okay.
And so I was 118 pounds at my lightest, same height, like 5'9".
Yeah.
And that's not a very good look.
Right.
And so
you're very healthy now.
I'm very healthy today.
You've got your nutrition dialed in.
I put some weight on since then and like figured everything out. And that's actually like what got me into the field is I have this obsession that I know what nutrition and proper nutrition can do for people, right? It's very freeing. It unlocks a lot of things in their lives. And so But back then I was like, if you made me eat chicken and rice 7 times a day, I would do it, right? Like,
yes.
or steak and asparagus or whatever.
You were locked onto your
like it was no big deal to me.
Yes.
Like I had zero emotion with food. But the reality is, there's a lot of zealots in the nutrition industry that are like, well, detach emotion from food. Food's a very emotional experience.
I even say like food to me is like love. Like
it is.
Food is emotion, especially when you cook for a family.
100%.
You're feeding your children. Like yes, this is so much more than just the science and the nutrition of feeding your body, but we need to like marry those two concepts.
And I think that when you do marry the two concepts, that's when you find success.
Yes.
Right? If you're able to find something that you can sustain and that you can just do day in, day out, then that's when success happens.
Yes.
And so that's why we're here. That's why we're making really tasty recipes.
Yes.
So I'm going to escape death today.
Well, okay, so this is funny, but could be tragic.
It's funny,
it's funny,
okay.
But could be tragic because I didn't know that Jason is allergic to shellfish. And one of our recipes that I'm still really excited about it, that I came up with yesterday, this is one of the recipes we're gonna be making, which is a spicy orange shrimp with butternut squash noodles.
And I'm gonna taste it.
No, you're not. He's not. We're gonna do this one last, and we're gonna keep him far, far away from it. But we also have a couple of other recipes. So all of these are cooked in the parchment paper, which is such a cool concept. Have you ever cooked any papillote? Oh my gosh. So we are opening up a whole new world for you here.
Whole new world.
It's such a fun concept, and literally you can just mix and match, like whatever veggies you were gonna have tonight, whatever protein, and then adding in just fresh flavors.
Yes.
So much of food is about the flavor.
So everything.
Exactly, but we don't need to get the flavor from artificial sources or from, the bad oils. Like it's everything that's fresh has all that flavor that you're looking for.
There we go.
So it's just a matter of putting it all together.
It's a matter of understanding it and doing it.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're gonna do the shrimp last because I want to keep them around as long as possible.
I mean, worst case scenario, we get through like an hour of filming, I die at the end. At least we got the content out there and everybody is in a better place because of it.
We're gonna ask them a lot of questions, get a lot of information about building
This could be the last information you ever get from me. It's okay.
So
I think my fiance is watching. I have a life insurance policy. We're good. You guys are covered. Life's good. We're okay.
This is good. Okay. So we are also going to be making a Greek salmon, which is not going to kill anyone.
That's not going to kill anyone.
Yes, so we've got all the flavors of Greece here that we're going to talk about as we go through this recipe.
Sweet.
And what's really fun about this is cauliflower rice. Now, is this something that you do at home or
that is something we haven't done it at our house. So in full transparency, we've got a pretty picky family.
Okay.
That being said, it's something I've done a lot, and so a lot of my followers that are in the CrossFit space that are familiar with the paleo lifestyle, it's a very popular food choice in that. So it is something that they're probably very familiar with and something I'm a big fan of.
Good, yes. And what's really nice about cooking en papillote or en papillote, however we're going to say it.
10 other ways. Yes. But yeah, we'll choose that one today.
In parchment paper is that it's going to cook right along with the fish.
Love it.
So,
So simple.
It's so simple.
Simple, it saves time.
And the cleanup. Like literally, I used this pan yesterday to do the recipe. I didn't have to clean it because it's just on the packet.
Even better.
You take the packet, you put it on your plate.
Anyone that's got a family knows cleanup can sometimes be the worst. Like full transparency, we sometimes eat on paper plates.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe we do all the time, right? Like because it's so easy. Like the kids are done. Hey, instead of put that in the sink and wash it, it's like, hey, trash can right there.
Toss it. Yes. So we're gonna toss this when we're done. Okay, so we're doing shrimp, salmon, and then we're gonna do a classic chicken. Now, with your clients, is this chicken breast? Is this one of the proteins?
So chicken breast is always a staple, right? And I think that the unfortunate reality is chicken breast gets boring.
Yes, and dry.
But it's a really great source of protein. It's low fat. Now, I mean, if you want to nerd out, right, it's a lot of omega-6 fats. So I'm really excited to see us doing salmon along with the chicken because I think a lot of people rely on chicken too much.
Okay, and it doesn't have as much of the omega as the salmon? Is that?
Well, salmon's a little more omega-3. And so common Western diet is very low omega-3, high omega-6. Omega-6 being your pro-inflammatory, omega-3 being your anti-inflammatory.
Would flax? Where does
flax would help with that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna get more omega-3s.
I always add a tablespoon of flax to my protein shake in the morning.
Great.
My egg white
protein.
Great.
So you're helping your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio.
Okay, very good.
So common like Western diet is 1 to 10 omega-3 to omega-6,
Okay.
which is very inflammatory. And a
Yes.
lot of what you're seeing discussed in nutritional topics right now is controlling inflammation.
Right.
That's the biggest reason why, is we eat a
Okay.
very high omega-6. Actually, our Eastern friends are even worse. They're 1 to 20 right
Wow.
now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so we get it from fish. We can get it from flax. Where
Yeah.
else can we get it?
Omega-3 eggs
Okay,
are really good.
yes.
It's really hard. That's the problem. It's really
Yeah.
hard to get a lot of omega-3. So
Right.
cold water fish, wild caught fish
Okay.
is always going to be your best. Omega-3 eggs, and then supplementing. So like high quality
Is it the
fish
fish oil?
oils.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, my husband takes that. Like,
yep,
he
high
keeps it in the
quality.
fridge and like takes.
It's the best.
Like,
it's
I
really
knew I need to start doing that.
really good for you. So, but the thing that you're looking for in fish oil, high EPA, DHA content.
Okay.
And so
Can we get it from shrimp?
no. So
Okay,
there's
well
not
there we go.
omega-3 in shrimp.
You're not missing out there.
Yeah, I'm not missing out on my omega-3s from shrimp, so we're good.
Awesome. Okay, so I think we should start with the chicken.
Okay.
It's gonna take the longest to
Great.
cook.
Let's do it.
And yes, okay. So I'm gonna let you do it.
Oh,
I'm gonna direct
shoot,
you.
a curveball thrown
Yes,
at me,
yes,
so we'll see if I
because
can really deliver.
Who really wants to watch me cook? We want to watch you do
I
it.
don't
We
know
want to
about
watch you do it. So, okay, so, and we're not going to be really exact with the
Okay.
measurements. And that's another thing with cooking. I think the more comfortable, the more you can approach it with the idea of like, you know, you're throwing something together. It's almost like art. Like
Yep.
we don't have to be so technical, and that
love
makes
it.
it more of a struggle, you know?
So here's the beautiful thing, is a lot of what you're putting in is like virtually, they're minimal in terms of macronutrients and in terms of calories.
This
right?
stuff?
Yep. So you can get really liberal with
Okay,
that, right?
see, because it's like your fresh herbs, some chicken broth. Yeah, so these are
Exactly.
things.
They're very low
Okay.
macro content, and this is where, you know, when people are working with a macronutrient protocol, right, a protein, carb, and fat protocol, you know, as long as you're within 5-6 grams on either end, like you're golden. Like there's
Okay.
definitely like a little bit of leeway, and so that's what I love about eating high quality foods.
Yeah.
If you're eating really low quality foods, you end up having to get much more precise.
Sure.
Actually, on my way over here, I was talking to a client. It's in like a really big transition, and like she's amazing with food quality. Like
Okay.
eats almost all paleo, like really good quality foods. But she's like in this transition. She's in someone else's house. She's looking around for carbs, and she's like the only carb source in the house was M&Ms.
No.
And so if you're thinking, right, but if you put it into perspective, there's M&Ms and then there's cauliflower rice.
Yeah.
You can be so much more liberal with how much cauliflower
Right.
rice you're going to consume and
Right.
eyeball it, because you might mess
Well,
up by 1 or 2 grams.
now
But if
how
you're
much-
like a handful of M&Ms, we're talking like
Well,
15
that's
grams of
the
carbohydrate.
Sugar
It's
too.
Tons of sugar.
Different than.
So completely
And
different,
really,
completely different quantity.
How much carbohydrates does cauliflower have? Maybe the sweet potato, right?
Super low amounts.
Okay.
So-
And, okay, as you build this out,
Yep.
I want you to do like, you know,
Yeah.
quantities and like
Love it.
something, you know,
Yeah.
for, you know, I
Yep.
guess let's say someone like me,
Yep.
as opposed to,
Let's do it.
you know, okay.
Let's do it.
All right, so the first step in this is we're gonna fold it in half.
All right.
Now-
I think I can handle
You can
that
do
one.
this, okay. It's
All right.
kind of like crafts and
Ooh, I
just- here we
was
go.
big arts and crafts
Okay,
when I
perfect.
was young.
Perfect.
In my younger years.
Now, if you look up cooking and papillote online, they're gonna tell you you have to like trace it like a heart and cut it out. Like, no,
That's cute.
no.
Maybe Valentine's Day.
No.
Trace it like a heart.
Yeah, no. We're gonna do it just a simple piece of parchment paper, and it's gonna be just fine.
Simple's good.
Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is mix up the seasonings and
Okay.
like a sauce
All
that
right.
we are gonna add our veggies to, and then add our protein to. So you're gonna mix it up in here, and
All
we're gonna
right.
start with some shallots. So I've minced up some shallots.
Okay.
And so you can just grab it.
All right. So we're gonna go 2 tablespoons.
This is roughly 2
Roughly,
tablespoons,
right? So-
but you know what? If you like the flavors, or if you have more of it, just throw more in. It's all good.
Not gonna hurt you.
More flavor is always better.
More flavor is always better.
Okay. So now we're gonna do some whole grain mustard, which we have right here.
Okay.
And do you use mustard?
I have
Or-
not cooked with this, but
Okay.
I feel like I'm gonna start.
I feel like that might be
I
too
feel
big
like
of a
that
spoon.
might be
There's a
the wrong
there.
spoon.
So
Note, use a smaller spoon.
we're getting him to cook, and we're gonna try not to kill him. This is
Ooh,
2
2
an
in
exciting
1.
day for
This
you.
is an exciting day.
This is, and you're on a trip in California.
I'm vacationing in California.
Yeah.
Our my stepdaughter is going to Disney tomorrow
That's awesome.
and SeaWorld on Friday. Happy 6th birthday, Ella.
Aw,
So-
happy birthday, Ella.
Oh, happy birthday from everyone.
Yay.
I think they're watching this back in the
That's
hotel room right now.
That's
so
awesome. Okay, we're gonna move on to some Dijon mustard.
Okay.
So this is just, we're adding flavors. So really, if you wanted to create your own meal en papillote, what you're gonna do is start with veggies and then make just a very simple sauce like we're doing here. We're gonna go through 3 sauces, so it's gonna be just so many different options, and then we're gonna add a little bit of liquid.
Cool.
And so
while you were saying that, I was actually just looking at the macros. So anyone that follows me knows to look at the macro ratios and everything. 0 carbohydrates, 0 fat, 0 calories, right?
Okay.
So here we are, we're making flavor,
Yeah.
we're making something that's actually gonna make you want to eat this food.
Yes.
And you're not adding any additional macros or calories to it, which is beautiful.
This is the whole grain.
So there's 42 servings in there, so there's 5 calories.
Okay.
We're beautiful, right? We added 3 tablespoons.
There's 1 gram of carb.
1 gram.
Yes. Okay. And this
honestly, I wouldn't even account for it.
mustard seed. It's not really technically a grain.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. So you got high quality. We have 0 calories. We got low macros.
So we're doing really good.
We're awesome.
Not to mention just all the benefits of the shallots and all these herbs we're gonna add.
Yeah, that's the one thing. There's such an emphasis, and again, my following is they're used to hearing macros because they're looking for performance or they're looking for cosmetics, and ultimately quantity will dictate that.
Yeah.
But getting the micronutrients in and getting in there's so much benefits to that.
Real food has that.
Yeah.
And you were talking about getting the quality food versus lower quality, and you said M&Ms, but really I find that people do things like protein bars,
far too much,
protein powder, and that's not as high quality.
They're so reliant on we live in a world right now dictated by
mustard.
Oh man, I came in, they were putting all that nice makeup on you, and I just added mustard to it.
It didn't go in my eye.
Oh, we're good.
And I feel like we're even for the shrimp now.
All right, we're good.
Unless you
we're
die.
Good. I got her back.
No, we're not even.
Right,
if you die.
Nobody will know. It's okay.
Go on. The protein bars.
Oh, I just think we live in Western culture is so much about convenience.
Yes.
I mean, truth be told, I was on my way out the hotel this morning. My fiance's sick, and so I was getting her medicines this morning, and on my way out really quick, and I'm in my head, I'm I'll just grab a bar, which I didn't. I'm still fasted right now, which I love, but
until we get to the shrimp.
Until we get to the shrimp, then I'm gonna eat it all. But I'm gonna be so hungry. I'm screw it, just give me the shrimp. No. I just think that the convenience thing has become so big, and unfortunately, one of the issues I see in the current macro trend is a reliance on processed foods, because it's very easy to know
healthy processed food.
Well, healthy or unhealthy, right? Because you just pull something out of the cabinet, scan it in MyFitnessPal, it tells you how much protein, carbs, fats, because it has a barcode, right? So it's simple. You're let me just barcode scan this. It tells me how much I have, and you stop looking at the ingredients and you're just looking at the macros. And
got it.
That's a really bad movement, I think, right now.
So
we got to rein the macro crowd back in onto a little bit of food quality. Yep.
Okay, I want to ask you about stevia, because I've been using stevia just to cut down on sugar.
Love it.
Is that something that you...
I always make the joke whenever I give a seminar. I've yet to see anybody whose autopsy says cause of death stevia or Splenda consumption. Neither one.
Okay.
And honestly, if you dig into the peer-reviewed research, and I live in the research world, huge nerd, there's equally as many good and bad studies for stevia and Splenda.
Really?
So it's kind of a pick your choice.
Got it.
At the end of the day, I don't think that our longevity is going to be dictated by either stevia or Splenda consumption.
Let's add a little bit of stevia.
That being said, I wouldn't use it as a crutch either, right? I know people that are oh, stevia is good for you. Cool, I'm gonna put it in my water. I'm gonna put it in there. It's no, you really don't need that much stevia. But if you're gonna cook with it, totally cool.
The other option here would have been honey.
Right.
Now, if we added honey, which that's a lot.
Oh.
It's okay.
I didn't know how much it is. Apparently, I don't use a lot of stevia. We're gonna have some really sweet chicken.
It's gonna be sweet chicken, but it's not gonna have a lot of sugar grams.
But it's gonna be good. No.
Yes. Okay, but that's we have the savory and the salty of the mustard, and so we want to balance it out with a little bit of sweet.
Got it.
And traditionally, recipes will call for a quarter cup of honey.
Yep.
And now, what does that do to the macros?
So basically, a tablespoon of honey is usually, I think it's gonna be 17 grams of sugar, of carbohydrate.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're pulling 5 to 6 grams of carbohydrates out by not using the honey, which is great.
Yes.
Now, that being said, if you're going to use, an actual sugar, I think using just raw organic honey, great idea.
Yes.
So, depending on who you are, right? If you're not as active and you don't need as many carbs, use a sugar substitute. If you're super active, right, and you need a lot of carbs in your diet, use the honey.
Okay, perfect. And cooking for kids, you know, they need more
They
of
need
those
some
carbs.
sweetness. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
And then I will start helping you here so
All
we
right.
can get some of these done. We've got some fresh rosemary.
How much olive oil are we talking?
A teaspoon
All right.
would be ideal. And then, because, you know, we talked about needing some moisture and needing some liquid, and this doesn't have a lot, and the veggies that we're using are sweet potato and green bean, and these don't hold a lot of liquid either. So we're actually gonna add a little bit of chicken broth.
Love it.
Yes. Now, when we get into the shrimp recipe, which is the shrimp kind of holds a lot of moisture, and then also the butternut squash holds. I'm gonna let you mix that up.
All right.
You know, you need to balance out having some moisture, but not having it be like a mushy, soggy mess in our, you know, parchment paper. And also, you can actually cook in foil.
Okay.
If it's something that's kind of heartier, or if you want to maybe cook everybody's serving together in one, or you know, get creative like that. Foil also works. I would definitely say like kind of grease it up a little bit though before
Will that yield like the same like moisture, like
yes,
holding on?
absolutely. It actually holds the steam in a little bit more.
Got it.
And it's kind of, yeah, it's more secure. But for what we're doing here, doing individual servings with the parchment paper is awesome.
Super cool.
Oh, question. Let's hear it.
It's a stevia question.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Can stevia be too processed, or which format of stevia is better? Or less processed, a liquid versus a powder?
That's a great question. I'm gonna let Jason answer, but I do want to just put out there, like, you can grow the stevia plant in your garden, which I've done, and you can literally like soak the leaves, so you can go to that extreme of having it completely unprocessed.
Yeah.
But I'll
So
let
yeah,
take
you
that.
can. I believe, and again, it's almost outside of my realm that I deal with. But I believe the powdered form is slightly less processed. Just knowing what I know from like the way that foods are like made, I believe the powders is the more natural form. I could be 100% wrong on that, but that's what top of my head. I do have a member of my staff that specializes in like that food like quality and like realm, and he would probably be a better one to ask. But so don't quote me on it, but I think that's the right answer.
All right, so we are going to take
It's a good question.
some of these veggies. So we have sweet potato, which I chopped up.
Love it.
And we have green beans.
My two favorites.
Really?
Literally my two favorites.
No way.
Yes.
So I did right here.
You did
but-
perfect here.
And then we'll get into the shrimp.
I love it.
Okay, so if you want to grab some, put it there,
Okay.
and we're going to mix it with a little bit of the sauce.
Okay.
And I'm going to grab us a chicken breast.
All right.
And I did the thin sliced chicken breast because the timing of cooking when you're doing this, the tricky thing. Okay, so let's mix a little bit of the sauce that you made with those veggies.
Okay.
The timing with the cooking, you can't check if it's done.
Because of the paper. You can't
Because of
let
the
it out.
paper, because it's a steam, you know, we're cooking it in steam, and it's gonna puff up real nice, and it's, you know, that's how it's cooking. So if you open it up and break it open, well, it's done.
Yep.
So I like to do the thin breasts, and you can get a chicken breast and pound it down yourself. You can cut it yourself. Yesterday I bought these, Val bought these for me, the thin sliced. So that is going to give us a cook time of about 30 minutes.
Perfect.
So last night I did 25 minutes at 400, and it was like, it was done, it was okay, but I was like, yeah, we're gonna add a couple
Always
minutes
better to
today.
be on the safe side with poultry.
Exactly,
Yes.
yes. Okay, perfect. So if you wanna just put that right in the center of this upper portion here,
Okay.
and this is our base veggies for the chicken dish. And I'm gonna pull out a chicken breast for you. Wow, these are really cold.
Amanda and Sarah are commenting on how delicious everything was.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so we're putting the chicken breast directly on those veggies, and
Cool.
now we're gonna
Use
get
the
some of
rest of
this
this?
and just smear it on there.
Awesome.
Yes. And I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. All right.
I'm actually super
Yes.
excited about this.
Oh,
This looks
good.
absolutely delicious.
This can be your breakfast.
This will be my breakfast.
Awesome. I'm gonna grab the salt and pepper because You always want to be very liberal.
Yeah.
Now, what's your take on salt?
Pink Himalayan sea salt all
You
day.
feel good about this?
I love it.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I think what most people don't understand is actually fluctuation of sodium intake is far more detrimental than sodium intake itself.
You
So
want to
your-
explain that, like?
Yeah. So
Okay.
your body has a mechanism internally that will actually regulate according to how much salt you take in daily.
Okay.
So like the biggest misconception is like high sodium intake equals hypertension, right? High blood pressure. Actually, your body has a sodium potassium pump that knows kind of how much sodium you're taking in every day, and it will learn to excrete any excess. But
Okay.
if you're taking in, let's say, a lot of sodium, right? If you're somebody that uses a lot of sea salt every day,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you're out somewhere and you don't take in any salt for the day, you'll feel very lethargic because your body
Got
is
it.
used to excreting a lot of sodium, right?
Got
So
it.
now all of a sudden you have less electrolytes, you're now able to retain less water, so you're dehydrated. So that's actually the problem is you go from high sodium to low, or the opposite.
So it's
If you're
staying
somebody-
consistent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're somebody that's low sodium and you go to like a Chinese food place and you have a ton of sodium,
the
now
difference,
you're
like your ring
retaining
gets all
water,
tight,
can't get your
yeah.
rings off, all of that. So
Yeah.
it's actually the fluctuation that's far
Got it.
worse for people than the sodium itself.
Now, does your water intake influence that at all? Or not enough
It
to
can.
really? Okay.
It can. So like excessive water intake and so underconsumption and severe overconsumption
Okay.
can actually both negatively
Sure.
affect it the same. But actually it's the salt that will mitigate kind of how
Got
much
it.
water you need.
Should be consistent with everything.
Everything consistency. Yeah, consistency is key. So
Okay.
get enough water, but definitely get enough salt too.
Okay,
I think
but
that's
the good salt,
the
not the
quality salt, not
processed
table salt.
table
Yeah,
salt.
no
We
table
don't need
salt.
that.
High quality pink Himalayan sea salt for sure. Get a wide variety of the essential
Okay.
minerals.
My dog just walked in.
Super exciting. Hi.
She smells the chicken.
Do you smell the food?
This is Cookie.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually fold the first one.
Okay, cool.
Since you've never done
Since
this.
I've never done it.
And I'll let you do the
Oh, that's
second
dangerous.
one, but not the third
Not the third?
one.
I don't get to play
You're
with the
not-
shrimp?
You're not gonna play with the shrimp. We're gonna keep you alive
I'm
today.
trying, guys. I'm
Okay,
trying.
so we just had a very simple fold here, and we're gonna fold over. And you know, a lot of places online will tell you to cut it in a heart shape, but we skipped that step
We're
because
skipping
you know
it.
what?
We want simplicity.
Simplicity. It has to be practical and quick. So you're gonna start at the corner, and it's literally we're just folding it over and over, and you're keeping it nice and tight. We don't want to have any air bubbles. And I like to get a little momentum going. You got to make sure all the veggies are in the middle. And then when we get to the end, we kind of have a little bit of a tail, and we're gonna just tuck it right under like that.
I love it.
Okay, so.
Do you ever get the kids involved in this part?
You know what?
Like, do they get to come and play with like folding the paper? Because I
I'm-
feel like they might actually enjoy that.
I think they absolutely would, and I actually have started writing some recipes with my kids. We're doing
it's
like
so fun.
something for kids, and so yeah.
That's
so
super
it's-
fun.
This is
I
something.
think anytime you can get them involved in the
Yeah.
kitchen when it's
Oh,
quality
yeah.
food.
Exactly.
So like one of
Yes.
the things, you know, we went to the doctor and like, you know, you talk to, it's always a hard thing, right? So
Sure.
for me, having an eating disorder at a young age, I'm very aware of like the relationship with food.
Yeah.
So I think that parents are like, well, how do we do this with a family? That's amazing.
Yeah. And actually, the reason why I started cooking and started like hacking recipes
Yeah.
is when I started feeding my kids solid
Yep.
foods. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's like, oh my
you
gosh,
know,
this is what's out there.
yeah.
I need to fix that.
yeah, the year that my son was born, 2005, the statistic came out that our kids have a shorter lifespan than us.
Yeah.
And
That's
just
scary.
It freaked me out
Yeah.
to the point where I you know, had never been into nutrition. I was into fitness and
Yeah.
exercise, but
Yeah.
never nutrition. And
Yep.
so I started reading and reading and
And-
reading. It's like, okay, what
And
am I
you
going to feed
realize
him?
This is the culprit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, let's get the healthy stuff into their, you know, just routine when they're young.
100%.
And then they're, you know, they're going to see what their friends eat and they're going to eat some crap.
Of
but
course.
then they're going
Of
to be
course.
like, okay, like my son's 11 now and
Yep.
he knows like, Mom, like I ate bad yesterday and like my energy was low.
Yep.
Like he can associate,
Yeah.
you know, the healthy food
Which
with
I think is
his health.
great, right? Like, so whenever I get the question as to how do you do it with kids, I always say it's education.
Yeah.
If you can educate them, great. Like, they're always
Yeah.
going to make their own choices, and they should. They're kids. They
Yeah.
should enjoy life. But
Right.
if you can educate them,
Yeah.
and you know, so that in later years they go to college, they don't gain the freshman 15,
Right.
They are able to make their own choices
Right.
away from mom and dad, and I think that's really important.
Exactly. And I say in my book, it's like you can talk until you're blue in the face about nutrition, but the kids are going to watch what you eat.
Always.
You know what I mean? They're going to see
Always.
what you sit down to eat.
Yep.
Okay, so we have our chicken one is done.
right.
This is like, how easy was that?
Super easy.
Right?
Like, I mean, honestly, like, I can do that, and that's saying a lot. I promise you. Like, that's my fiance. That's saying a lot.
Okay, so we're going to...
We have a question about the salt.
Okay.
Okay.
Specifically, it's Diana. I noticed you use a variety of salts in your recipes on your blog. How do you decide which salt to use, whether you choose sea salt or kosher salt or pink salt?
Kosher salt is a different size. It's more of a coarse salt. And so that's the only reason that I ever use a different salt, is that kosher salt for the size.
And is that like a texture thing?
Usually it's used in like draining a vegetable.
Got it.
So like you put out eggplant and you like,
Makes
you know,
sense.
put that salt on there and then you wash it off.
Makes
but
sense.
yeah, it's the size
Cool.
issue. But I love my pink Himalayan, and then you can get it actually pre-ground. So like when you're doing baking, you can it's already ready to go and you can measure it out. Because that's the other thing.
Yep.
You know, like sitting there grinding it and trying to measure
And
half
trying
a
to measure
teaspoon.
into a teaspoon from a grinder?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
hard.
can get it pre-ground. But that was my take on that. Okay, so let's do our salmon.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm super excited about that. How do you feel about salmon? I know the omegas.
I think it's literally like one of the best foods out there. So I don't necessarily believe there's quote unquote superfoods.
Okay.
But I believe from a meat perspective and from a protein perspective, it's really hard to beat.
Is it safe to say that all this stuff is superfood though? If we're just going to compare real food to processed food?
Everything here is super high. So I always like, from scientific perspective, right? Like super high micronutrient value, extremely healthy.
We have
like,
real food and fake food.
It's real food.
Real food and
it's
fake food.
real food. I love. I mean, anytime you can do real food, you should.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Because there's going to be times like I'm traveling right now,
Yeah.
right? And I'm fortunate to be here having this, but the reality is for the next 5 days, I'm subjected to a lot of cooking methods that are not my own and fake foods. And so if you can at home have as much real food as possible, and when you're in control, have the real foods, I think long term from a balance perspective, you're in a great place.
You're going to Disney tomorrow.
I'm going to Disney.
They're actually, okay, the
That
last
scares
couple
me.
of years.
Scares me from a food perspective, not gonna lie.
Have you been there
I
recently?
haven't. I've never been to Disneyland.
Oh, okay. So
This is first time for me.
in the last 5 years, they have added in a lot of healthy stuff.
Oh, cool.
Like much healthier. Like there's stands where you can go and just get like chicken skewers.
Oh, that's
and,
exciting.
Like, yes.
That's really exciting.
Because it used to be, you know,
Yeah.
churros and
Yeah.
cotton candy, and they still
Yeah.
have that.
Of course they do.
On every corner.
Yeah, the
but
kids gotta have it.
You can get
So-
chicken. You can get fruit, fresh fruit.
Yeah,
so.
when we were out here 2-3 weeks ago, we went to Universal, and they had
Okay.
like some places with fresh fruit, and I wouldn't say there were very healthy meat options or anything like that, but I was able to get fruit and do that whole thing. So, and just being on the West Coast in general, I'm so much healthier
Is
out
it?
here. Oh my goodness! Everywhere you go, there's like healthy options here, and not so much on the East Coast.
Okay.
But
So you should move here.
Paige, did you hear that?
Okay. All right. You know how to fold this.
I do.
And we're gonna start with making a little flavor sauce.
Okay.
And so this was my kind of take on Greek flavors today. So we're gonna do a little bit of lemon juice.
Okay.
So that's about 2 tablespoons. I say 2 tablespoons here.
Okay.
And again, you know what? This is cooking. We're having fun.
There you go.
This is lemon rind.
Okay.
So it's literally, I mean, I don't know how intricate you get with your cooking these
So
days.
I don't. So I'm gonna ask you. Tell me about that.
So this is literally the rind of a lemon.
Okay.
I just shaved off some of it. And
Cool.
It has, you know, that oil in there and just that flavor. Like it's gonna really
Smells really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna really bring up the flavor. Okay, so this is fresh garlic that I chopped last night.
Yum.
And I said 2 teaspoons, but again, you know what? You can eat the salmon, so add as much garlic as you want.
Yeah, I'm a big garlic fan.
Okay.
I love garlic flavor.
I'm into the flavor. You probably know more about like
There's
the
tons of health benefits. I was gonna
anti-inflammatory
say,
and
anti-inflammatory
stuff.
right there. And we're talking omega-3, omega-6. I mean, natural anti-inflammatory in the garlic.
So this meal itself is very omega friendly and anti-inflammatory, which is awesome, and it tastes really good.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, so let's do a teaspoon of olive oil.
Okay.
Now, is there an oil that you would prefer over olive oil? Because I know, does olive oil have the omega-6s?
It doesn't. So there's really nothing. Yeah, it's kind of neutral. Obviously, extra virgin olive oil. The darker the oil, the better. But you know, I mean, the new trend is like coconut oil. And,
Yes.
But from a cooking perspective, I mean, nothing wrong with some olive oil in there. Yeah.
Which I do love
Very
coconut
healthy.
oil.
Oh, coconut
and I
oil
use
is
it like
great.
in my dessert recipes and like we're gonna have dessert later.
Oh,
yeah.
exciting.
Okay, so these are red pepper flakes. So this
Okay.
is, you know, they're a little spicy, so
Okay.
as much spice as you want.
So I
just
like
said
spice.
a pinch.
So I like spice, so
Okay.
I'll probably get a little,
Yeah.
we'll get kind of liberal.
Yeah, and I'm gonna eat the shrimp one. So this is all you.
And this is probably like we're gonna put it to the test, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
bring this back to the fiance
Oh,
too.
perfect.
She's like a salmon fiend.
Oh, nice.
Her and our daughter.
Okay.
Salmon fiends. So they're probably gonna get a lot of this, and we're gonna really put it to the test.
That's awesome.
And then
That's
I'll
good.
I'll report it on Facebook later. Like I'll leave a comment.
Good.
I'll have them come in, and they'll
Yeah,
tell you how
we
much
need
they
their
loved
commentary.
It. So
Okay, so we're gonna mix up this sauce
Okay.
that we made. And again, it was just lemon juice, lemon zest, fresh garlic, olive oil, and then some red pepper flakes.
honestly, that could not be simpler.
Yeah, right? There's a little bit of prep with the chopping, but you can even, you know, do that once a week.
Yeah, I mean, you do it once, have it all pre-sorted. I mean, I look at like the ramekins and like just put them in small Tupperwares and
Yeah.
like have it all stored.
Ziploc
Super
bags.
easy.
Like,
yeah.
very
So-
easy. Okay, so now we're gonna start adding veggies
Okay.
so that we can have our little veggie medley.
Okay.
So we're gonna do, this is actually was fresh fennel bulb that I chopped
Awesome.
up last night. So we're gonna do
Awesome.
some fresh fennel.
Okay.
And then because this is Greek, we are gonna do, oh, you're gonna mix it in here.
Oh,
Sorry,
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't,
We're gonna throw it in here.
Yes.
Not directly on here.
That's okay.
They should probably have some
It's
flavor.
okay, it's parchment paper. We're good.
We're good.
Yes, it will end up there once it's
will.
flavored. So, and then we're gonna do some Kalamata olives.
Has to, if it's Greek.
We did, yeah. I mean, when I think Greek, I think
Yeah,
this,
100%.
and then, you know,
100%.
I'm gonna add as much as you want of that. And then we have some red onion.
Yum.
And really, I mean, if we were gonna do this for meal planning for the week, we could have used the shallots.
Yep.
It's virtually
Very
the
the
same
same,
thing.
yeah.
This has a little stronger flavor, and it was kind of more Greek to me. So, and
Cool.
just in, you know, the concept of this recipe, I used it, but definitely you could mix, you know, change it out for any type of onion. I mean,
Love
we
it.
could do. Okay, so we're gonna mix this up.
Okay.
And this is our little flavor for our salmon. I'm gonna grab a fillet for you.
Sweet.
Position it like, and you're gonna fold this one.
Uh-oh.
I'm really excited.
kind of nervous, I'm
to
not gonna
see
lie.
how this goes.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. But if I can pass the test, and if we can get me through
Yeah,
it, anybody
yeah.
out there can do it. So,
All right.
so how long have you been hacking recipes?
I have been hacking recipes for about 8 years now.
awesome.
I started my blog 8 years ago.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Okay. I just realized I'm all salmon-y, so I'm gonna let you put a scoop of the cauliflower rice
okay.
here. I guess we could use
Salmon-y.
spoon, or
That
just
is a
even-
new adjective.
I'm all, at
Can I-
least
can I just go hands?
You just
Okay.
get your hand, just sprinkle some of that on there. And I love cauliflower rice.
It's delicious.
Like I have a bunch of different recipes in my book, and then on my blog, I think I'm up to like maybe 12 cauliflower
awesome.
rice. I do like cauliflower risotto. I do
Ooh.
like couscous. Like
Yum.
oh yeah, there's so much flavor you can add to it. That's
Good.
awesome. That's perfect.
Cool.
And then again, because I'm salmon-y, if you want to grab this. Now what this is, it's the fronds from the fennel bulb.
Okay.
So I don't know how familiar you are with the
Not
vegetable.
super.
Okay, so it's a bulb, and it's, you know, it was this,
Okay.
was the bulb, and then at the top, it almost looks like dill.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah, I was gonna
like-
say, it looks like just a little bit
dill,
of
but
dill.
if you smell it, it has that fennel, it
Got
has
it.
the
It
flavor.
does, yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
So let's sprinkle a little bit of that here. Okay, and then let's salt and pepper this.
Okay.
So we're just adding, you know, all of the flavors are gonna mingle together because, you know, we're cooking it in this packet. It's almost like this flavor.
It's a
steam
flavor,
packet.
like,
So, but I still want to give it a little attention there. It can't hurt.
not at all.
Perfect.
Good.
Okay, so I'm gonna fillet you here.
Okay.
And first thing, we're gonna salt and pepper the
Okay.
salmon. Do a little salt and pepper, and then you're gonna put 2 slices of lemon, because we really want that lemon juice to just soak into the salmon as it cooks.
Yum.
Okay, I'm gonna wash the salmon off my hands.
So I love lemon flavor anything, so that's exciting.
I think this is my favorite one of the
Yeah?
3. Yeah.
Okay.
This is.
I'm
this is a good
excited.
one. Okay, so now you're gonna put your amazing flavored veggie mixture. And we're doing it on the top because it's just literally, it's gonna coat the salmon and the rice, and it is gonna just all get the flavors together while it cooks. I think you're gonna be making dinner for like the next few weeks.
So the truth is, I do make dinner.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh,
so I
it's
am the
nothing
cook
new.
at home.
Okay.
But I think that they're in for a lot better
Right?
dinners.
Yeah.
Yes. So
You can start sending me some of your ideas. 'Cause
I will. So here's what we'll do is I'll send you like foods that I really like, and
Okay.
I would love to start hacking them. Right.
Absolutely.
Like the one that we talked off camera about was like I sent out to my email list like a healthier chicken parm recipe.
Yes.
Now, like when we go to date nights, we got to talk about butter cake too.
Well,
by the way,
it's date
We gotta
night for
get
me
to that.
tonight,
So I'm the nutritionist here, and I'm in her kitchen, and I'm actually trying to talk her into going to have butter cake tonight, along with the onion rings that she's already
I
planning.
committed to onion rings
Yep.
because it's Mastro's.
It's Mastro's. So if you don't know
And-
Mastro's,
oh my gosh.
you're missing out. But if you're going to Mastro's, I feel like you have to have butter cake. And so she's like, I've been to Mastro's and I haven't had butter cake.
I've smelled it. I've seen it.
And I feel like that's like,
I know.
you're not allowed to go to Mastro's and not have butter
I've
cake.
never had it.
So we're gonna get her.
The onion
We're gonna get her
rings
to try it tonight. She's gonna post a picture
are
on
an
Facebook.
experience. I need to hack the onion ring. Well, the onion rings and the butter cake.
Yeah, there
so
we go.
really, it's just going to be experimental. Like
That's
it's
fun, though.
research.
That's fun.
I'm going to do
It's-
research.
There you go. It's research. So in the name of getting you guys better desserts, she is gonna go
Sacrifice
herself, and she's gonna have some butter cake. So just for
I'll
you
have to
guys,
report
guys
back.
should seriously send a thank you, comment down here, like tell her how thankful you are for
Do
her
people like
having
butter
desserts.
cake? Is this?
People love it.
Do people? Okay.
So it's like, I mean, it's their thing.
Oh,
it's totally their
Mastro's.
thing. Yeah.
It's their thing.
Yeah.
Does it come with like whipped cream or something? I've seen
it's so
it.
they have-
It's caught my eye.
So they have, it's like a, I mean, it's the butter cake, and then
Yeah.
they put ice cream in the center,
Okay.
and they put like some strawberry and
Okay.
other fruit flavors on, and then they have their own homemade whipped cream.
I knew there
and
was
so
some
they
kind
bring
of
you like a
cream, yeah.
bowl of like
Oh my-
homemade whipped cream. And so their whipped cream is really good, not gonna lie.
Oh my
But their
gosh.
food in general, like
Yeah.
I've been with several people that get like steaks, and you ask for like no butter, and it's
Yeah.
really high quality meat. It's cooked really
Okay.
well. So you know you can go to a high end
Oh,
steakhouse.
yeah.
You can
Yes.
get like I always get my vegetables steamed when I go to
Yes.
restaurants. And so here's a simple hack, right? If you go to a restaurant and you don't want any risk of it being cooked in butter, I tell them I'm lactose intolerant.
There you go.
Yeah, but then I order butter cake. Right? I'm like, I'm lactose intolerant. And then like dessert
Are
comes
you
around, I'm like,
really allergic to shrimp?
I'm super allergic. I could tell the story and it's really bad. Like, long story short.
Wait, you should tell it while we have the shrimp out.
Okay, I'll do it when the shrimp comes out. I'll tell
But
everybody.
but don't forget.
While you're putting the shrimp together,
Yeah,
I'll
'cause
tell
I have to
everybody
do that
exactly
one.
what happened.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, how it scares me a little bit.
All right, we're
but-
gonna add some more of this. This
Okay.
is the fennel fronds to add a
Okay.
little green and a little more flavor.
Okay.
And then you get to fold this
Oh, I
up
get to fold.
yourself.
All right.
And
There
then
we
just
go.
picture yourself at home, like making your packet for each member of the family.
Yeah. All right. So
Okay.
you're gonna remind me. So I
Yep.
take this all the way over.
Yep, you're gonna kind of line it up at the top.
Okay.
And you're gonna start at the corner.
Okay.
And you're just gonna start right there.
Here,
And
okay.
yes, exactly. So fold it.
Okay.
And then you're just gonna make the next fold, kind of try to make it as small as possible. Exactly. And you're just gonna follow that all the way around. It is actually
It's not
simple
too
enough,
bad.
right?
It's not too bad, guys.
simple enough. You've got this.
And so I'm just gonna let the food kind of turn with me.
Yes, exactly. And when you have some like stray veggies, just kind of push them in towards the salmon.
I like it.
Yes. All right.
I like it. See, guys, if I can do this, anybody can do it. Because I'm just the nutrition guy. I'm not the food cook guy.
Now you are.
Now I
Look at
am.
this guy.
You know?
Okay, so you cook for the family. So other than your chicken parm, which you've shared,
Yep.
what else do you like to make?
So that's really why I was so excited about
Yeah.
today. We're super like basic.
Okay.
And like I'll go out, I'll grill steak, like we'll do just
Yeah.
steamed green beans or steamed
Sure.
asparagus
Like
or
proteins in your
like
veggies.
baked potatoes. Like we're very simple and
Yeah.
plain where it's like protein, carbohydrate,
Yeah.
vegetable, healthy fats, and like it's never super flavorful.
Oh,
And that's
oh
why
gosh.
I'm like, you know, and I feel bad because
Yeah.
again, like my neurotic mind, I'm like, well, whatever.
It's the nutrition got
fuel,
delivered,
It's like,
yeah.
it's micros, macros. I'm like, that's easy. But you know, for them, like they have to eat
Yes.
healthy, or you know, they have to want to eat the
Yeah.
healthier foods, and they have to it has to be flavorful for them.
Right.
So it's exciting.
You need to start trying some of my recipes.
I'm super excited. Okay, so
You
I
did
just
that
got to the
perfect.
end. Now
Okay,
we're
do
going
we
to
kind of
pinch the other way.
You were just going to fold it under, but I think it might be okay. Let's see.
Let's see.
Just so that it doesn't flip up. You kind of...
Maybe.
I think that's beautiful.
We good?
Okay.
All
let me
right.
Transfer it back
I did it.
here. He did it. Okay, and then we're gonna trade places because I don't want you to be close to the shrimp over
okay.
here.
All right, I'm gonna hang out with my
We're,
bottle
we're,
of water.
we're gonna go here. I'll take my empty one.
You know what? I'll take my coffee.
Yes.
And everyone that follows me knows this is daily occurrence.
Okay, so is that just iced coffee?
It's an iced Americano. So
Okay.
it was. So we flew in really late last night.
Oh.
Like we didn't even get to the hotel until probably 12.
Okay.
And I was up at the pharmacy the
Oh, no.
second it opened because
no.
my fiance is first trimester, so a little sickness comes with that.
yeah,
She had some
yeah.
congestion that went with that. So I was at the pharmacy. One of my awesome clients, her husband's an OB, so they were telling me exactly like what I could get.
Good.
And so I literally was like standing outside CVS as it opened at 7 o'clock, and I was getting coffees for the family. And
Nice.
so there's 5 shots of espresso in
Oh
there.
my gosh.
And that's
Oh
why
my
I'm
gosh.
wide awake
That's why
right
you
now.
got all this energy.
That's why I have tons of energy because
hopefully-
I haven't even eaten yet.
Hopefully you get some sleep before Disney tomorrow.
I will get some
Okay.
sleep tonight. Although, I mean, I've got a 5:30 a.m. phone call tomorrow.
Okay.
But
All right.
I'm I'm
powered on
used
real
to
foods
it. I'm
and
used to
coffee.
it. Yeah, I'm powered on micros. I'm gonna be good.
There we go.
I'm good.
Perfect.
So,
Okay, so let's start this dangerous shrimp recipe, and
Let's
you
do
can
it.
tell us.
yeah, you want to hear the story?
I desperately want to hear
So
the
this
story.
is really like it's interesting. So I don't remember the year, but it was probably 2005-ish. And so growing up, my favorite meal was like hibachi. Like I loved going to the, they flip everything and they make it a whole show,
Yeah.
and like kids love that. And so
Yeah.
I would always get filet mignon and shrimp, my favorite thing. And I mean, like I ate it like it was going out of style.
Okay.
And so in college, my girlfriend and I we'd do date night, and we would go to a hibachi place.
Okay.
In Tallahassee. I went to Florida State. Shout out to anyone that went to Florida State. It's like a big pride thing. If you went to Florida State, like you love your school. But we would go to the same hibachi restaurant, and so then we did New Year's Eve in Times Square, and that was really fun,
Yeah.
like amazing. My mom had a really big connection, got us like a suite at the Marquee.
Okay.
So like
Nice.
awesome, like we did it right.
Once
and
in a
so,
lifetime.
Once in a lifetime
Yeah.
for sure. And then we went to Benihana the next night,
Okay.
and we're leaving, and I'm like, I had filet and shrimp, and we're leaving, like something didn't feel right. Like my head was feeling kind of like itchy,
Oh, no.
and I'm like, this is really weird. And so like we're in the cab on like the way back to the hotel, and I asked her, I'm like, does my face look kind of like messed up? And because like it just felt like really weird. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, you look fine.
Okay.
And so like we get in the elevator, and I'm like, oh my God, are you crazy? Like I'm like broken out everywhere.
no.
She's like, I didn't want to scare you.
Oh,
And I'm like, okay. So we get to the room, and I'm like, just take a shower, sleep
Yeah.
this off, we'll be
Oh
good.
my gosh.
I get out of the shower, like the bumps that were on my face had gone onto my body.
Oh my gosh.
I went to take a breath,
That's scary.
and I couldn't breathe.
That's scary.
And I was like, call 911.
Yeah.
And so they did, and by the time the ambulance showed up, like I literally was like in like convulsions, like my arms were shaking. Like I feel like it's probably I remember it worse than it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
was, but I feel like my arms were going like this, like waving all around.
Happy New
And
Year.
yeah, like Happy New Year, everybody.
Oh my
So
God.
the funny part of it all though is here we are in New York, January 1. You can only imagine how cold it must be.
Oh, yeah.
I just got out of the shower, so I had just like gym shorts on, and they pick you up, they shoot you up with epinephrine, they wheel you out to the ambulance, and so I finally stopped shaking right before we get outside. Yeah, they wheel you outside, I'm like right back in convulsions. Stop the convulsions in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. They roll me back outside in the hospital, start them again.
Oh
But the
my
best part is they discharged me at like 4 a.m. You know, they made sure everything was good. And they don't, like, New York hospitals, they don't really care. They're like, hey dude, you got no shoes on, no shirt, just a pair of shorts, like outside, see you later, good luck.
gosh. But you were breathing.
Oh, but here's an EpiPen, because that
Okay.
might save you later. And I was like, hey,
Thoughtful.
I'll see you guys in 2 hours with pneumonia.
Oh.
Right? Like that was my thought. I'm like, I'm gonna go freeze. Like I was that guy walking down New York, down the streets of New York in nothing but shorts on January 1.
And you survived.
I survived,
to live
and I'm
this down.
here, and we're gonna try it again.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna test it.
And you know for sure it was the shrimp.
That's what they said.
Okay.
They said it was shellfish. No.
We're not going to test it out.
We're not.
Okay.
We could. Maybe. No? No. I'm getting head shakes over there. No, we're not. Okay.
If we had an EpiPen.
It's in the hotel.
Next time.
Next time. I will bring the EpiPen next time. I've never had to use it.
That's good.
So I'll bring the EpiPen next time, and we'll have a fun experience.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, so we're gonna work with this very deadly ingredient here.
Okay.
But first, we're just gonna make a very harmless sauce.
Harmless.
Oh, Catherine, by the way, says, note to self, don't get sick in New York.
No, do not.
Oh.
At least don't
Noted.
get rushed to the hospital from your hotel room.
Well, that was a
in
busy
New York.
day.
Yeah. Yeah, January 1st, kind of busy there. But don't get rushed there because they'll discharge you and they won't
man.
care very much.
Oh my. Okay, guys, we're starting with fresh ginger, and this
Smells
you smell
so
that?
good.
You're not allergic to this.
I can smell it from over here.
Yeah.
I love ginger.
This and
Again, anti-inflammatory.
Okay. The
Super
root. Is it because
ginger
the
root
stuff?
is very
Okay.
anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
Also great for digestion.
And you know what? We're gonna add some garlic if we have any left. I think you might have used
I
it
might
all.
have used it all.
Oh no, there's a few. We're
Okay.
gonna get a little bit of it in here. We'll try to avoid that. Oh my gosh, this smells so good too.
Ginger
I
root, great
love-
for digestion.
This is
I love
great.
it.
Okay, so for the liquid, because we're doing a little bit of an orange, like spicy orange
Okay.
was, the direction I was going. And so I did some fresh squeezed orange juice last night.
Yum.
Now I'm just gonna do a tiny bit because the shrimp holds so much moisture
Okay.
that, we only need a little bit of moisture to get the steam we need. And then also we're gonna be cooking with these butternut squash noodles. Now, do you do any veggie noodles at home?
So I love zucchini noodles,
Okay.
but we don't do them at home right
Okay.
now because the kids really won't do it.
Okay.
I love zucchini noodles.
Okay.
Zucchini is one of my favorite vegetables anyway.
So you might be able to start branching out into other.
Now, do you make these yourself,
Yes.
or you bought those?
No, I made it.
Okay.
Yeah. So just
Awesome.
start with the butternut squash and
Awesome.
cut it into a nice, piece that kind of the size
Excellent.
of a zucchini and run it through.
Love it.
So yeah, and it just makes it funner. We're going back to how do we make this healthy stuff
Yes.
kind of a little more exciting, a
It-
little more
it has
fun.
to be.
And if it's shaped like a noodle,
It'll probably be consumed.
yeah, exactly. It looks better. It tastes better. Okay, so we put a little bit of orange juice with our anti-inflammatory ingredients, and now we're gonna do some coconut aminos. Now, is this
Awesome.
a recipe or a ingredient that you use?
It's not.
Okay.
But I
So-
love it.
All right. Well, I'll let you look at it.
gonna
But this
have a
is
look
what
at
I
that.
use instead of soy sauce.
Ooh.
Because this.
That is a great substitute. That's amazing.
Yeah, I use it in quite a few of my recipes. I stay away from soy. I don't use any
Good.
of that.
I was gonna say, I wanted to be careful. I'm like, maybe she cooks with soy.
No, I don't.
I'm
No soy.
Massively against soy.
Yes. Is it
Hugely against it.
mainly because it's so modified, or
So modified,
also-
but also very estrogenic.
Yes.
And so the research, a lot of people are like, no, it's not. There's really clear research on soy contributing to negative estrogen
Crazy
levels.
how they add it to everything.
Everything.
Like
Everything.
processed.
So the only kind of soy that I'd ever be acceptable is fermented soy products.
Okay.
But you just
Like
don't
a
get
miso.
that. Yeah, like a miso, even like a kimchi.
Okay.
Something like that, which is obviously great for digestion.
Fermented.
The fermented
gives you
piece
the
is really what you're
benefits.
after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
it's that's the only kind of soy I would ever
Yeah.
be okay with, but you don't
Yeah.
get that in Western culture at all. So those of us in the U.S., North America, I would stay away from soy.
So this is
These
better,
are great.
much
Yeah.
better.
Much better. Where do you get this?
I got that at Sprouts, but honestly, they sell it everywhere now.
Cool. There you go.
Well, at least in California.
Awesome.
I don't know about
in California.
I don't know about the
We have
East Coast.
Sprouts in Virginia.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
There you
yeah.
go.
We're in Virginia, not West Virginia.
Oh God. There's a big
I make
difference.
that distinguishment to everybody.
Okay, so this is some garlic chili paste.
Yum.
Yes, you can smell that. There's no shrimp
Now, is
yet.
this fresh made? Did you make this
No,
or
I
you
didn't.
bought this?
I bought this.
Okay.
I bought this.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It smells
it's
really
pretty
good.
spicy.
That's awesome.
So, cooking for kids, you have to kind of monitor
Mm-hmm.
how spicy they can handle. My kids are starting to like spicy.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun.
That is fun for you guys.
Okay, so now we are gonna. So these are the butternut squash noodles that
Okay.
I made last night.
Awesome.
Very simple. You don't have to turn them into noodles. You could slice it. You could,
So it could just look like the sweet potato,
it could
just
look like the
cubed up.
sweet potato.
Yep.
The key with your veggies in the parchment paper is that it needs to cook in the same time that your protein cooks.
Got it. So these are
Now,
going to cook faster because they're
these
thinner.
are gonna exactly, and it's butternut squash, which we could have done sweet potato noodles, or we
Oh,
could
that's
have
a good
done zucchini, but zucchini is gonna cook way too
Super
quick.
quick. Okay.
Way too quick. It would just be
Interesting.
mush.
Got it.
This one comes out very tender,
Got it.
The shrimp cooks in 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So
Very
with
cool.
and papillote, you got to do the timing of everything. Okay, so we're going to just mix our flavor with our noodles, and we're gonna get out our deadly shrimp.
Uh-huh.
But I just love this concept of doing the noodles.
This is super cool. I really love this.
I'm giving it some flavor. You can really smell that.
So a lot of my clients, if they're watching this, or a lot of people that are trying to reduce carbohydrate intake that aren't necessarily ready to go from like full-on starch to like full-on vegetable noodle, it's a great way to like cut your starch intake in half and then substitute that other half with a voluminous food like a vegetable noodle, right? So now you're getting more volume, less calories, going to make you feel more full.
Exactly.
Getting your micronutrients in, reducing that starch. So it's a really good transition for people that, you know, if somebody's coming into it, right? We talked about point A being here, point B being here. How do you transition? It's a really good way to do that.
And you're getting the same flavor. And
Which
that's
is awesome.
A lot of the recipes that I hack is like, I'm trying to take that flavor that you're going to get.
That's the important part,
That's the
right?
important part.
That's why you eat it in the first place.
Exactly. And so it's like these noodles have all the flavor
I love it.
of any, you know, other type of noodle. Okay, I'm going to get the
And what did you
shrimp
just add?
out. This is cilantro.
Got it.
So just some fresh cilantro to go with that chili.
Cool.
Okay, so we're getting out the shrimp here, folks.
Uh-oh.
This is where things get dicey.
This is where, you know, I'm going to start saying my prayers.
You're not steaming them.
Well, we're steaming them in the oven, but they're going to be contained. Okay, so what would you say portion-wise? I was thinking like maybe 5.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay.
That's gonna yield like 3 ounces ish, which is a pretty common serving size.
Okay. So it's the same sauce here. We're just gonna mix it in. And I did not add the olive oil, which, you know, we're steaming.
Okay.
So, you know, we're talking about the macros. Like if we needed to add some fat, we could, but really with this cooking technique, we don't need to add the fat. So that's something that is kind of cool. Okay.
It looks delicious.
Doesn't
now,
it? Right?
because I can't eat shrimp doesn't mean I don't like it. I mean, obviously I ate it a ton growing up, so it always looks delicious to me.
It sounds like it was one of your favorites.
It was. It absolutely was.
Okay.
So.
All right, I'm gonna wash my hands.
And one of our sons, he loves crab.
Oh.
Like that is like his favorite food. So.
Now, are you not able to do crab either?
No shellfish.
No shellfish.
No.
Do you remember the Will Smith movie?
Yes.
Where he
Hitch, where he gets like his face is huge.
Like, the whole time you told that story, that's
so it's really funny because I wish I had a picture of what I was like in the ER, because I remember the nurse coming in at like 2:30 or 3 and she's like, oh yeah, your face is coming down, and I'm like, gosh, how bad was it? Like, I wish somebody could have shown me. Wish we could insert that picture here. That'd be great, right? Like that would be perfect.
We could
We'd like save this video,
it.
put it on YouTube. The thumbnail would be like my head, just huge. Like, this is what happens.
The recipe
Definitely eat these recipes.
Kills the nutrition coach.
It's cool. Totally good. I'll take one for the team.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we are experts now at making our little packets. And
see how quickly she did that? I feel like it took me like 5 minutes, and she did that in 2 seconds.
Okay, so we're gonna stick these in the oven, and we actually have the completed version that we're gonna pull out and enjoy.
And check it out.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna.
I feel like that's how cooking shows work. Like, I already have it done.
Of course, it's you gotta have the visual.
You guys are so good.
Yes. Okay, so that one is done. Is it hot? We're gonna try not to burn ourselves over here. Okay. All right.
Sweet.
So here we go with the finished product. This shrimp one is over here.
Okay.
So we're gonna do this. And I'm gonna get a couple of forks out. Now, there's no like real proper way to
That's
open
what I was
it
gonna
up.
ask. What is the protocol?
Right, you can get scissors and cut it and do it real nice, but really I think the best way to do it is just grab it in the middle and you're gonna rip it open, and then you can kind of like pull it back like this.
This looks delicious.
And there you go. You can see it's all cooked. We got all the flavors in there. And with the chicken, I would pull that out and chop it up.
Okay.
Which we can do. Reach my...
Yum.
So I'm curious which of these you're gonna go home and make first.
We're gonna.
Not this one.
I was gonna say the shrimp for
The
sure.
shrimp. Yeah, but really the possibilities are endless with the veggies and the protein.
So what I love
that
about
you
this too,
use.
for anybody that does like a lot of meal prep, is you could probably just like literally do 4 or 5 of them at one time.
Yeah.
It's like, meal prep is a big thing, and make 4 or 5 of these. You have a variety of foods
Right?
that you can have prepared, ready to pull out. It has a ton of flavor.
Yeah.
It's gonna hold its moisture because of how it was cooked.
Exactly.
So it's not like going out to the grill and grilling up 12
Right.
chicken breasts at one
Right.
time, being like, oh, there's my meat for the
Yeah.
week, and every time I pull it out, it tastes disgusting.
Right,
Like
exactly.
that's not a great way
Yeah.
to go about meal prep, and that's why people don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I love this concept.
You know what? You could even do, if you were going to do a batch of it in the beginning of the week, you could do it in foil and
Yep.
literally take it out, let it cool off, and keep it in the fridge like that.
Ooh, in the
To
foil
really,
still.
yeah, to
That's
really
cool.
keep the
Guys,
moisture and
there,
the
like,
flavor.
there it is,
Right?
like right there. Like there's your meal prep
Yeah.
hack of like a lifetime.
Yeah, and then just stick that foil packet in your Tupperware and then,
Yep, and that's it.
right?
Everything's done.
Keep all the flavor in there, keep
That's
all the
it.
moisture in there.
And there's your meal prep hack of a
I'm
lifetime.
gonna get you a plate so you can try that
Yes.
salmon, and then
Let's
we'll
do
chop up some this. And then we did have a dessert recipe.
Ooh, desserts.
So there's actually 2 of them
Excellent.
that are very similar. And I did use stevia. However, this is a recipe where you could use honey as
Okay.
well. And we talked about, just figuring out where you're at with
Where you're
your
at in the
carbohydrates.
continuum.
Okay, so one of them is it's a dark chocolate coconut cup.
Yum.
So yeah,
Yum.
they sell a version of this at Whole Foods,
Okay.
where they use like coconut sugar. It's a little bit higher in the sugars than I would like,
Okay.
and it's bigger. It's
Okay.
like the size of a like a Reese's.
Like a peanut butter
Yeah,
cup.
exactly.
Yep.
And so this is my like homemade. Just use coconut flakes and coconut oil and some sea salt and the stevia. And so that I think I did. Yes. So you can see it's got like that nice white layer. And
Yum.
the dark chocolate is flavored or sweetened with the stevia. And
Okay.
then this one, it's just a simple. Oh, it melted! It melted, folks, because we had it out. Oh my God!
That's
but you can
okay.
see, you got to keep them in the freezer.
So I am 100% a peanut butter fiend.
Okay.
Like I love anything chocolate and peanut butter. That's
They're
my
still gonna taste
weakness.
good.
So I will be all
I'm
about
gonna
that
stick these
one
back in
a
the
minute.
freezer,
Ooh.
and you can take some.
And then I can
with
take
you.
some back.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Cool. So can I?
Yes.
Can I try
yes,
some of this?
do it.
Cool.
Do
So I'm
it,
gonna
and I'm
try.
gonna cut
I'm gonna
this
try
up.
some of the salmon, and I'm probably gonna jump all over that chicken.
Yeah,
so
man. I'm gonna chop it up.
Paige and Ella can try some of this as well.
Yeah, we've got that one that's cooking. That'll be hot that you can take.
That is delicious.
Right? It's got all those flavors in there. And
That
then
is
we've got
so
the
good.
rice there on the bottom.
The rice, like I love that you can literally go all the way down.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Have like all the flavors like one
Yes.
time. That's the best part. So good. Paige, you're gonna love this.
Yes. There's
They're
just
gonna freak out. Like they're gonna love that.
nice. Okay, so I want to just touch on the book one more time
Yes.
because I know you're going to be
I'm gonna send an email out today
Okay.
with how they can get it for free.
Yes.
So like you've given me a link that I
Yes.
can send to them. And
exactly.
that's super cool. Guys, like honestly, just this piece alone, like even just the meal prep that we just
Yeah,
talked about, right?
yeah.
That's so big. And like everyone knows my good friend Mike Vacanti, this year he was Gary Vee's trainer.
Okay.
And so he's like, this is the year of the micro. This is so important in like a macronutrient world, in a world that's now, I'm a big believer that quantity relative to your goals is always gonna be number one, right? Like it's calories in, calories out, like it's always gonna matter.
Yeah.
But if quantity's here, like quantity is like on par with it, or it's like 1A. And I think everyone's missing that boat. And I think that this is a way that, we touched on your family can get involved.
Right.
We touched on,
Exactly.
creating education for your family. Flavor within food that's actually good
Yeah.
for you. There's just so many benefits. And I'm
Yes.
super excited about it. I'm
Awesome.
super excited to share it.
Very cool.
I'm excited to eat it.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, there's just, I'm super thankful for you having me here.
I am excited that you came and I had a lot
Yeah.
of fun with you.
Good.
And I didn't kill you.
Good. You didn't
so
kill
that
me.
was
I didn't
good.
die yet.
That was good.
So if you guys don't see that email, it means potentially I died on my way back to Laguna.
No, the
No,
shrimp
it's
is
not going to
over here.
happen.
We're good.
Shrimp's over there. But I'm actually like, I'm looking at that
It
you
smells
open,
good,
and I'm like,
right?
oh my
You
god,
smell
that
like
looks
the chili.
amazing.
It's-
Like, not gonna lie, it looks so good.
And I have all 3 of these recipes that
Okay.
I will give you the link.
Cool.
So,
So my followers want to know, do you have that recipe?
yes,
Okay.
I have both of those.
So you will get the recipe
Yes,
to that chocolate as
exactly.
well, because that's
Yes,
really exciting.
Exactly.
Very cool.
So yeah, do we have any other things to address on there, or we're awesome? Well, thank
Awesome.
you so much,
Thank
Jason.
you.
I had a great
Yeah,
time
I did
with
too.
you.
Thank you so much for having me
Yeah.
out. So
Next time we will not cook shrimp.
next time we won't do shrimp, but I will. We'll definitely do it again.
We'll do it again for
Awesome.
sure.
I'm excited.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.